Second Thursday, so that means the Mayor Scott Maddasion. Scott, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. I would imagine you keep busy with work and with the mayoral stuff.
Oh, absolutely. At never a dull moment during the day.
And you say you got somebody going into kindergarten now?
I do. We have our oldest Bennett starts kindergarten on the 26th, which is crazy, right? Because when I started the mayor thing, we had no kids. Now we have one going to kindergarten. We had a new one born last week, so we have 3 now.
Last week,
last Monday.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh,
so.
Goodness, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So we were kind of talking before we went on air. You only had a couple of things here on your piece of paper for me, but I think we can get into tailgate and tallboy. That might take about the first half of the program. How are things looking?
Yeah, so things are looking good as far as getting that final settlement complete. It's taken a little longer than we expected, but I guess if you look back in history, it's been August, September when we've kind of had that final settlement completed. I thought with the new team they had there on the promoter side that we'd be done a little sooner, but turns out we didn't. So had a good meeting on Monday. I think we have everything hashed out. Now it's just doing the final check on revenues and expenses and making sure everything matches properly and everything's good. But, all the questions that they had of me and all the ones that I had of them, we've kind of hashed out all that stuff. All the invoices are getting put together in a nice package, so everything's all in one spot. And so, yeah, we're doing good on that front. So the timeline would be hopefully to bring it to council for the final settlement for 2025 on August 26th. That's my goal. I hope I can reach that goal because I really wanted it on the 12th, but we didn't make that. So that's kind of that. And we've began talking about a new contract. Nothing solid yet. But now that we've seen this for 3 years, Josh and I on the city side kind of understand what we need as a city, what we want, and then same for the promoters, right, in this agreement, in this partnership. So looking forward to hopefully having that maybe contract discussion on the 26th as well. But that probably will be that first meeting in September, I would think.
We were talking that originally they wanted a 5-year commitment. You backed it down to 3. You were thinking that the 4th or 5th years are maybe more critical than actually the first 3.
Yeah. Determining the market and what the market is going to accept and what they want and what fits in there is a big thing because like we talked before, we kind of molded this after Bloomington, their flagship. We don't have 500,000 people in Clinton or in the greater Clinton area, right? So our market is a little bit different. How we reach people, how you get people there, and then really the talent side of things, I think it has shown a huge on what Clinton looks for because we've had larger attendance on more of those well-known names than we have on some of the rising stars or the up-and-comer guys. We did really well with Shinedown, which was a rock act, and we tried to get that molded into the budget for 2025, but it just didn't work with the rock acts that were available on our date. It just wasn't going to fit in the budget, right? So that's why we didn't really have a rock act in 25. So we've learned a ton over 3 years. We just have to try to figure out what works for Clinton, what fits, and how to sustain this event that way.
What is the sentiment among the council?
I think I haven't talked to council specifically, but we have a lot of support from council. We have 2 council members. Rhonda Kearns runs the camping for us. Greg Oberon runs the parking and camping out on Lincoln Way for us. I know Councilmember Shemmers has helped out with the parking as well. So we have council members that are involved in the process of this. We have Councilmember Detterman's been a sponsor every year, because he has his business. So we have a ton of support from the council members in different manners. So hopefully that support continues and they see the importance of this event, because the one thing you can't calculate is you can't calculate the true economic impact of the city itself, right? We can run it through the state of Iowa calculator and we can say it was a $6 million impact over the weekend, right? But there's no way I can calculate and tell you we made an additional however many dollars on tax revenue. We know it happens because we see the uptick in the money that we get on that 1% sales tax and the local option sales tax, and then the hotel motel. So we see those increases, but you can't pinpoint it to the specific weekend, right? And I wish we could, because then you would see, exactly, I could tell you, the dollar amount, but it's just not possible to do that. So we are seeing impact. We are seeing businesses impacted, especially year 3. A lot of business owners told me that they were busy this year. They were slammed, and it's taken a couple years for people to find them, maybe. And then you get those repeat people coming back every year who love the event and they love coming to Clinton, and then they'll find that specific restaurant or spot or bar or whatever it is that, hey, we always go to this spot. That's what we do. So I think we're starting to see that. We just need to keep this thing rolling so we can see more of that positive impact.
I know one particular business, Manning's Whistle Stop, they also, in conjunction with the music on the riverfront, they're very close to the riverfront. They've got music going on themselves.
Yeah, Manning's has been a huge beneficiary of the festival because of their location, right? Sarah also does a really good job of marketing herself and getting people in there, right? And location matters, right? Yes. Obviously, but she does a wonderful job, and that's a great place to be no matter what weekend you're in Clinton. But she has done a lot of great things to make sure that that's a spot people want to go to, and it is. So I think other businesses are starting to do that as well. We also have a ton of local businesses that are involved in the back end. I know there's some scuttlebutt out there about there's no local businesses. Well, every day we have production lunches that feed the people in the back, right? We have local businesses that are bringing 200 lunches, 250 lunches every single day. They might not be a food vendor that's sitting out there in a trailer, selling, because they don't have that capacity, but we have them involved there. We bring...
I happened to walk in when James, Hook, and Amy were putting together things at Hook's Pub.
Yeah, and we have... late night pizzas for the security staff and things like that. So we have local businesses that are bringing those in. Yeah. So Hy-Vee did the catering for the Super Fan and the Diamond Decks this year, right? So we have a lot of local support on the back end. They might not have a big flashy trailer with lights and they're not selling whatever out there, but they are involved. And then there's a ton of local businesses that are involved too. River City Fencing does a lot of fence work for us and that. And Miles Communication helped in conjunction with the city, did all the Wi-Fi for the festival, right? So that saved the festival about $20,000 by the city and Miles working together to do the Wi-Fi for everything, right? So there's a lot of local stuff in there. It's just you may not see it because it's kind of on the back end or it's not, during the show specifically. So
we're going to take a break for the weather, and just one more thing on Tailgate and Tall Boys. I know you and Josh certainly put in a lot of time and effort, and we'll love to have this back. Same time frame, same time of the year?
Same time of the year. We have discussed moving the date a little bit, and amazingly, the date we want to move it to is there's no conflicts in the city, which is wild. So it worked. So yeah, but more to come on that.
Okay, very good. Let's take a break for the weather, brought to you by Awesome Car Wash.
A little more warmth, but still remaining comfortable for our Thursday. Mostly sunny skies and high temperatures returning to the mid-80s this afternoon. It will get a little bit more muggy tonight, though. We'll continue to see mostly clear skies and overnight lows in the mid-60s. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
Sunshine, we've made it to the 70s. Our update brought to you by Awesome Car Wash.
Introducing the ultimate car care experience, Awesome Car Wash. Your touchless automatic car wash open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Say goodbye to dirt and grime. Their state-of-the-art system provides a touchless wash that's gentle yet effective. Include a ceramic sealant coating for long-lasting protection that keeps your vehicle looking awesome longer. Conveniently located across from Purina on Manufacturing Drive in Clinton, Awesome Car Wash. Drive in today and experience the difference.
Again, the Mayor Scott Maddasion, and let's get to some of your talking points. Rental inspection, maybe moving to a 4-year cycle?
Yeah, so this has been a big thing that it was on the committee of the whole the other night on Tuesday. It's probably the biggest topic that was on there. Currently, rental inspections are on a 2-year cycle, 1-year cycle, 2-year cycle, depending on what the property is. And that's all rental units throughout the city. There's like there's 4,250 rental units out there. So specific units, not buildings specifically, but I think Rich Foley said there's like 2,800 buildings, but the 4,200 units. So that was interesting to know that number. I didn't know that number beforehand. But yeah, so what they're looking to do is move that cycle to 4-year. So as long as your building or your unit passes and everything's in good order and all that stuff, then you only get inspected every 4 years instead of every 2 years. Now there's other things, like if there's deficiencies, it might be a shorter time frame based on whatever's going on. But this is a big thing for us because we only have 2 inspectors, right? Okay. And with that many units, that's a lot of work for a year. Think about it, right? Because there's not that many days in a year to even try to get 1 each day. So you're doing multiple. So anyway, this is a big topic. We had a lot of landlords there. There wasn't a ton of questions, but I think it's a pretty good program. It's a yearly fee now. No inspection fees anymore. So you pay, like for a single family house, you'd pay like $35 a year for your to have your occupancy permit. And then there's no extra fees on top of that unless there's a couple other factors. But yeah, so this is a really cool thing. There's other communities that do the longer cycle, and I think it'll be a good thing for the landlords, and seem to have positive feedback the other night. So yeah.
The other point, Burlington Railway, what do we got there?
Yeah. So this is huge, I think. Obviously, we have Atlas Roofing coming in and out the rail park. They're building. We have Super 8 Logistics, who is going to be doing transloading stuff out there. They bought land, and they're going to have warehousing and rail. So what we needed as a city is we needed a third-party person or company to come in and move rail cars, because the city doesn't move rail cars, right? And there's some rules on Union Pacific and how cars can be moved onto the main line and off and things like that. There's ton of stuff with rail, right? And a company can't necessarily just do it themselves. So we did an RFP and had I think it was like 7 or 9 people reach out. Jason Kraft and the city, with a lot of other folks that were involved in that, did some interviews, and we ended up doing a contract the other night with Burlington Junction Railway. They're based out of Burlington. They've been moving rail cars for 40 years. And there's a lot to it, which is pretty crazy. So the contract isn't signed yet. We just accepted their request for proposal. So now we'll work a contract with them. And basically, they make money by moving cars. Like it's so many dollars per car as they move it. And Atlas Roofing's gonna have a lot going on, and the other business too. So this is a huge deal for the rail park itself. It's a huge step forward for the rail park. And the coolest thing that I didn't think about this, but Burlington Junction has a economic development leg of their business. So we now have a new partner in promoting the rail park, trying to sell land, trying to bring businesses here, because their business model, they make more money the more rail cars they move. So they want rail-served businesses in that park because they make more money that way, right? Mm-hmm. Which is great. It helps the tax base. It helps a lot of different things. So we now have a new partner in the economic development side of things, which I thought was pretty cool. And I talked to the CEO guy the other night when he was there, and I'm pretty excited to work with them. They seem pretty down to earth. He was born and raised in Burlington, so we talked about the Mac and the original Mac, and how he grew up. So yeah, it's cool, and I think it'll be a good thing.
Yeah, it is kind of exciting news.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think there was that much into moving rail cars and stuff like that, but it's a complicated process. And you think about, I think the rules and regulations for the railroad, I think, is written in the U.S. Constitution. So it's pretty specific, because they have a lot of authority on that stuff. And I think it's a cool thing. And it's been interesting to learn about this. And I look forward to working with them in the future. And hopefully with their help and their connections, we can start really making this rail park jive. I mean, we got 2 great businesses in there right now, and hopefully we see a ton more, and that place is all full.
I head out that way quite a bit, and yeah, every time I drive by, it seems like more is going up for Atlas Roofing.
Yeah, that's a massive complex, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's wild.
Just incredible.
I'm interested. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to kind of go through it and see that process when they're done and they're up and running, because I'm pretty excited about that, just to see it. And we have also, Project MG, hopefully by December. That's when their agreement, that's the $1.6 billion renewable biodiesel plant out there. They have until December 31st to buy the ground that they have optioned right now. So hopefully they happen as well, because there's a lot of rail cars in that too, which will help with Burlington Junction and also helps the rail parks. So a lot of hopefully good things on the horizon, but can't count it until the sign.
It's always interesting. It seems like how these things tie together, and then it's kind of like a domino effect.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that old adage that money follows money. That's kind of one of those things. And I do think as you see these businesses come in here, you'll see offshoots. Maybe I use a byproduct of what Atlas waste is, right? And I do that for my business. Now you locate next to them. Warehousing has been a huge issue in our area. There's just not a lot of warehousing, right? So Super 8 Logistics is going to have, I can't remember how many square foot, but it's a very large warehousing operation that'll be out there, which will be really nice to have for maybe Atlas will use it, maybe other places. So yeah, I mean, I think we're going to hopefully see some domino effects of new things coming in, and it's an exciting time to kind of be working on the rail park, because
so much going on. I mean, you drive around town, some of the roads are always blocked. And
all of them are blocked, sorry.
So, I mean, but, Manufacturing Drive, I mean, once that project, again, when is the completion date, the hopeful completion date?
So,
because you guys are going from the one end of town to the other.
Yeah, hopeful completion date is like the 28, 29 timeframe. Okay. It was like a 3 to 4 year process, just based on construction timelines, as far as hopefully no issues arise, and then weather, obviously. So if you drive down there, I mean, you can see on manufacturing there, they've got some curb and poured. They don't have the main road, but I don't know the exact timeline when they're there. But I did talk to a business owner along there the other day, and they were informed that they're going to be pouring soon, and hopefully that leg will be reopened, maybe from like College Avenue, not all the way to Nestle yet, but maybe down to Skyline area. Hopefully they'll get that done quick, and we can get that going. So,
water treatment plant, how's that coming along?
That's going as scheduled. This month they're supposed to be, and they may have already started it, they're supposed to be trying to get it started up and online, running. I know there's some logistical stuff with the sludge that they're going to start it with is going to be trucked in from Decatur, because the waste that ADM has in Decatur is similar to what they'll have here, so it kind of kickstart it going, get some nasty stuff in there so that it all jives well. But yeah, so that stuff in August is supposed to be kind of starting to go online and kicked off, but it's not fully completed yet.